All right. Home churches seem like the most amazing place and time to start your own cult.
Okay.
I mean, am I right?
I mean, dude.
I mean, what a better, what a prime, just ripe, just a wet, soggy, primordial ooze environment to start a cult.
It's a breeding ground for cults.
Right? Am I right?
You're not wrong.
Okay, so
because
why would you want to push for this if it's just going to be cult city out there? Yeah.
Well, I think that it can become cult city.
Cultapalooza.
I think it can become all that.
Okay.
If the individuals in there have no oversight, no connection, pastors are just on their own, doing their own thing.
Right.
Or sometimes in house churches, the way they're structured, it's not even like you have a pastor. It's like you have everyone will
like
just
your
kind of
buddy's dad.
Right. Or like you have several families get together and they'll just kind of take turns rotating.
Right.
Like who's teaching and that kind of stuff.
Like I'm not coming to this.
Right.
No.
But
I think I might be bipolar on this issue. I think it sounds great, but there's too many potential negatives. I think you've convinced me a little bit to come more toward the middle because I was full.
Oh yeah,
bitter cult people.
Right.
Before we started, but
right.
You've pushed me. Yeah.
Okay.
Cults, all of them.
No, not all of them, but they can become cultish.
Yes.
Okay. They can become cultish in the sense of really bad theology and doctrine.
Yeah.
Okay. They can become cultish when it's like if you have like a pastor that's there that's like so dominating and controlling of everyone else that's in that little group.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Like they're so intertwined in the lives and whether they do life and all that kind of stuff that like the pastor is like having this like way more say than they should.
In people's lives?
Over people, how people are living their life, what they're choosing to do, spend their money, jobs, careers, whatever.
I'm not only your dad, but I'm also your pastor.
Right. And so I think that there can be the issues there. I think what I'm talking about is if you have house churches that are starting from and they're connected together.
Yeah.
Right, with a church, then I think
duplex.
I think
churches.
We've got 2 church options and 1 duplex.
Yeah.
So
right.
But no, I do think there's a possibility for connection though, in the churches that provide accountability.
Okay.
Right. Like so the house church I was talking about earlier that I went to and visited out west. Like there was like all that leaders of those house churches would all come together and meet and discuss and talk, and there was accountability amongst all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the healthy way to go about it.
I think when I think about it, I'm just like there's like 10 people there, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right.
And that's just not enough people where someone would feel comfortable going, I think this is wrong. Or not enough people to feel comfortable going, or not enough people for someone to even know that something that's being taught is wrong.
I gotcha.
There's just not enough. There's not enough brains to knock stuff off of. And if someone got in there and was like, "Ooh, here we go," and it started teaching wrong,
right?
Then
there's not enough, right? And I get that, But also, I mean, if I'm also like being frank, like in a lot of church, like larger churches, and I say larger churches that are larger than home groups, like you can have that. Like biblical literacy is so low, just across the board, that I mean you can have that in other churches as well, like in traditional, like you can have that at our church, right, or a size church like ours, right? Where
we should talk about that sometime.
Where biblical literacy is just so low, that the pastor is just up there talking, and it's like, well, is it true or not true? Yep. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know.
Killing ourselves next week, I guess.
It's go late, right? But I think the issue.
This tastes funny.
Uh-oh, bye-bye.
Pastor said to drink it.
Here we go.
Nom, 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 nom.
All right. Anyways, so I guess, and I think too, though, there's a difference between like having, being in error, like with some doctrines. Like that's one thing. It's a whole other thing if you're like a cult where you're like, we are our little house church is like the only way.
Right, but when you
or we're the only ones doing it.
When you add not enough people with bitter, we're the best. That's a cult, right?
No, it doesn't make it a cult. Okay. It's one thing to say we think we're doing church better. It's another thing that's arrogance. That's pride.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like, we are the only ones who are the true church. Like we're the only ones following Jesus. Okay. That's the
correct way.
Right.
And here's all the weird other ways that we do it differently than everybody else.
That's a major difference.
Okay, well it's way too similar. It's way too close.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it could be cult-ish.
Okay.
Without it being a full-fledged cult.
All right.
So
that's fair.
So yes, I do see absolutely the potential downfalls for it.
Okay.
Right? And there's other potential things that run through my head with this kind of stuff too. With house churches. But I do think the opportunities that are there.
I know what you're thinking about, and they're all criminal.
Criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but those same things exist in the larger churches too.